Dear eTwinners, welcome to the closing session of the eTwinning Annual Conference 2020. My name is Antonia Lonchar and I'm eTwinning Communication Coordinator. I have a pleasure to welcoming you to this final session of this intensive nearly 3 days of events, of the ceremonies, of the workshops, networking activities, creative breaks. I hope you have been having such a good time, albeit a bit intensive, but that you have found inspiration, made connections, and that you are going to leave this event on a high note and with a lot of energy and with a lot of passion for the new eTwinning activities that you're going to pursue. But before we go and start there, we would like to use this session to still give you some last tips and tricks, some last ideas, and leave you with an inspiring notes and thoughts that you can bring to your eTwinning activities. So let's begin. I would like to first pass the floor to my colleague, Ruth Baptista, who has been the mastermind, the master brain behind this networking activity that has made that has tried to, in a way, come forward to your needs and your ideas, and it's not to substitute, it's maybe not a nice word, but to come forward to allow you to still be as creative as eTwinning community can be, but online. So, Ruth, how has this interactive learning activity been going? Tell us more about it.
Thank you, Antonia. Actually, it's going super well. And it's going super well because all of you actually committed to the activity and engaged in the activity, and actually the outputs that we are receiving are just amazing. And I would like just to give you a preview of some of the pages. These were the first ones. Actually, we already have, I think, the double, if not more, of the pages ready to go. So soon we will share this wonderful online magazine that was created collaboratively with all of the conference participants. Also regarding this activity, I would like to thank everyone that was involved behind the scenes. So all the national support services and partner support agencies members that were guiding you in the groups, but also very important team, the editorial team that is also composed by NSS and PSA members, and they are putting together every single piece like a puzzle, and I'm sure you will really enjoy the final output of this online magazine. This was, we hope, a moment for you to network, to actually have new ideas. I heard a little bird told me that some ideas of projects actually came out of this activity, and we also hope that you can take some ideas to implement in your classroom. So I hope you enjoyed it. Soon we will share the final output, and I really appreciate all the commitment and all the engagement during this activity. So back to you, Antonia.
Thank you very much, Ruth, and thank you to all of your eTwinners that have brought your creativity, your relentless passion, inspiration, and ideas, even in this new format that we have been experimenting together with you online. As I mentioned before, I work in communication-related activities for eTwinning, and I have to say, as I already told to Ruth, that I also sneaked a peek here and there to get some ideas and also some inspiration for my future work as well. And speaking of eTwinning publications, I would like to remind you that as of yesterday on the eTwinning portal, you can find the eTwinning book 2020, Classrooms in Action, Teaching Climate Change with eTwinning. And actually, speaking of the eTwinning book that you can download and share with your pupils and whoever you think can find some inspiration in it, now we are going to pass to the floor to my colleague Alexandra, who has the pleasure to welcome some of the teachers of some of a few inspiring projects that have been featured in this edition of the eTwinning book that we hope will inspire you to create new eTwinning projects on this year's annual theme. So Alexandra, floor to you.
Thank you so much, Antonia. Thank you. So first of all, I would like to invite our dear teachers We have excellent teachers today. We have Despoina, Aneta, Loredana, and Murièle that have created excellent projects that were picked for the book. In the book, you can find various activities, you can find various projects, you can find various experts that share their knowledge and information about climate action, climate change, how to deal with these difficult topics in the classroom. So without further hesitation, I would like to pass the microphone to Despoina, our teacher from Greece, that will introduce the project Green Kid. Very interesting project that actually targets pre-primary school pupils. Despoina.
Thank you very much, Alex. Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce my project with the title Green Kid. I feel very honored. My name is Tsifetaki and I am a kindergarten teacher for almost 21 years now. I live in Ierapetra of Greece. Ierapetra is the southernmost town in Europe. My pupils are from 4 to 6 years old. It was a cooperation between 7 schools from Greece, France, Spain, especially Gran Canaria, Italy, Turkey, United Kingdom and Serbia, and it was held in 2018 to 2019. And here is the link where you can visit it and you can see more details of our great project. About the project now, 13 teachers from different countries joined this project funded and guided by Greek and Spanish partners. Green Kid is a superhero who tries to save the earth. He'll teach children how to be green kids. Collaboration between most partners was established from the project planning stage. A draft project was shared on Google Drive first and TwinSpace later for discussion and making arrangements together. And finally, we planned a final year planning that was suitable for all. The aim of the project, first, to create awareness about environmental issues and actions that can be taken for its protection. Second, to improve digital and communicative skills. And third, to promote creativity. The results. Awareness was boosted in our pupils about environmental issues and actions that can be taken for its protection. Digital and communicative skills were also improved. Younger children always with the help of an adult in their twin boards. Finally, creativity has been the key to all project activities. Creating a logo, a superhero, creating and illustrating stories, imagining new solutions to environmental problems, singing songs, and predicting the future. The most outstanding tangible results are the 4 storybooks on Story Jumper, the Earth Day songs, Green Kids logo design, and 2 twin boards with the title How to be a Green Kid and What's Our Future, the Future of Our Planet. The first activity was in September. We exchanged videos of children greeting and introducing their school. Also, what does a green kid look like? We designed a green kid hero. We chose 1 per school, and all together, with the help of our Greek parents, we voted for our logo. Activity in October. Green Kids Storybook 1. How can we help save an animal in danger? My pupils, we created a story and illustrated about a turtle, Kareta, who is in danger. Also, the Greek Ornithological Company visited our kindergarten and informed us how to protect the local birds in our region. Activity November. Very little green kids Christmas cards exchange. We created Christmas cards and we went to the post office to send them to our partners. Activity in December. Green Kids Storybook 2 with the title, What Do We Know About Trees? What do they give us? So we visited the local forest with the cooperation of a local organization that is involved in environmental issues. The theme of our story was how the Green Kid hero saves a forest from the fire. And of course, we visited the fire station. Activity in January, Green Kids Storybook 3, Air and Water Pollution. The theme of our story was the green kid is sick of breathing polluted air and drinking polluted water. And the fourth book, with the title, What About Plastic Waste? Our green kid hero campaigns and tries to reduce plastic waste. We learned a lot about recycling. We thought that it would be a good idea. Children bring recycled products from their home, and we visited our neighbor's bin and we put it there. Another activity, draw your thoughts. What about plastic waste? So let's draw our thoughts. When you hear plastic waste, what do you think? And this is a small example. Caretta is in danger. We swim in dirty seas. Children get easily sick. Another activity, how can we stop water and air pollution? The examples of our children, stop air pollution by using bicycles. Try not to use our cars, but walk more. And of course, during the school year, we did a lot of craft works. In Activity March, we prepare banners to protest. So we visited our mayor and we asked him to make Ierapetra, our town, more clean. Activity March, how to be a green kid. So let's draw our thoughts. Children shared our thoughts and drawn them. Do not throw plastic in the sea. Plant more trees. Activity in April, Earth Day Song Contest. Each school learned a song and we exchanged our videos and then we voted which song was our best. So Greece and Serbia won. Activity in May, gardening. How about fixing our garden, but not alone, with the help of our parents and our grandparents. So we invited them to our school, we cleaned the garden, and then we plant fresh plants. Activity in May, what's the future of the earth? We encouraged our pupils to imagine the future and design and try to draw their thoughts, forests everywhere and happy earth. And finally, activity in June, summer celebration. On 5th of June 2019, we celebrated the end of school year with a play that involved environmental issues. The theme was that the Mother Nature visits all the children of the earth, trying to find solutions to the pollution, plastic waste, litters, fires in the forests. Some advices. Make a project plan together with your partners with concrete activities and time schedule which fits to the needs of your schools. Find a partner with experience in projects. Then you feel more confident and can ask for advice. Communicate often with your partners. Share the good and bad news. For me, I have a wonderful partner, Cecilia Cantizano from Gran Canaria, and we worked together from 2013 in Comenius, Erasmus, and eTwinning projects with great success. And one more advice, get enthusiastic. If you get enthusiastic, then your children will just follow. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Despoina. What an inspiring project, and how lovely is to see how you can engage such young children with partners from across Europe, but also to tackle these very acute and relevant topics. I have a question for you, Despoina. When you planned this wonderful project together with partners, how did you reach out to external organizations, such as you said you visited various places outside of the kindergarten? So how did you recognize which partners or which stakeholders to approach, and was it also done in the partner countries? So my question is actually talks about reaching out to the community, how that was done, and what would be your tip for teachers that want to reach out and engage external stakeholders in their projects?
In every project, Alex, I cannot hear you. Now I can speak. In every project that we held in our kindergarten, first of all, we inform our parents, and then we try to inform the whole community through the radio. So we give interviews in the radio and the whole community knows. And of course, there are some organizations, local organizations, that help us, and they are very close to our kindergarten because they know what kind of work we do all these years. We approach them, and the easy thing is to say yes, because always they help us. So a small tip to everyone that hears us is to inform everyone about the project. If you inform everyone, then I'm sure you'll get the help you need.
Thank you so much, Despoina. Indeed, this is an excellent tip. And without further hesitation, I would like to pass the floor to Aneta, who will present to us the project Planet Earth and its Friends that was conducted in primary school.
Good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me and an honor to be a speaker of today's conference. My name is Aneta Wilk. I'm an English teacher in the primary school in Romania, which is southeast part of Poland. I'm also an eTwinning ambassador, a trainer of eTwinning online courses, and a moderator of the eTwinning features group called Bringing eSafety into eTwinning projects. Today I'm going to present the eTwinning project, which is called Planet Earth and its Friends. It was run in the school year 2018-2019. The project was run by 4 schools. It was my school, which is called Primary School in Romania, and there were 3 another schools from Italy, Romania and Spain. The project lasted 10 months and was carried out with students aged 12 to 15. The main project aim was to raise student environmental awareness, shaping pro-ecological attitudes, learning vocabulary related to ecology and the environment, and develop the ability to use ICT skills in the learning process. If you would like to see the results of the project, you can click on the link available on the screen. It was an interdisciplinary project carried out in cooperation with teachers of different subjects such as English, science, primary education. It combined elements of nature, art, biology, digital technologies and English. We used the different methods of working within the project. Main of them were project method, collaboration in international and national groups, brainstorming, web quest, games, and online activities. At each step of the project work, both teachers and students participating in it closely collaborated with one another. Most project tasks were carried out in collaboration in international teams. At the stage of the project planning, we set a common document for edition, as well as sharing our ideas on carrying out the project tasks. There was also organized a video conference via DopConnect system, during which teachers participating in the project set the division of work and decided on the methods used to carry out the project activities. To complete the first task, we created a common document for edition. The project partners use it to introduce themselves and their schools to the project participants. Also, students made the introduction to their peers. Then they mainly use Padlet and QR codes. By participating in the project, students develop their key competencies essential for active citizenship as communication in English, digital literacy, cultural awareness, entrepreneurship, social competencies. To develop foreign language competencies, students communicated as often as possible via tools available in the project TwinSpace, as well as used external tools to widen their vocabulary skills. One of the project activities that helps students to get to know vocabulary referring to environment and ecological topic was creating common mental map via which students from all countries participating in the project added words and phrases regarding the topic. And you can see the map on the slides, and you can also click on the link to see the whole result. The next project step was called Photo Reporters. Students took pictures of good and bad examples of environmental management around the school grounds. They compared what aspects concerning environmental protection are positive in the project participants' countries and which of them should be improved. Students participating in the project become more aware of the need to protect the natural environment, and they gained some practical skills. They learned how to effectively reuse old stuff, extended their knowledge concerning waste separation that will help them in the future to undertake activities for environmental protection. That was, in my opinion, the most valuable part of this project. On the slide presented now, we can see how students recycled old stuff. Students from schools participating in the project reused some of the materials they found around their homes or in the classrooms in order to create new objects. The idea was to create things which could be used to decorate their rooms or their classrooms. Polish students decorated all the jars using the coupage method and sent them as souvenirs to their project partner schools. One of the project tasks that was organizing a competition for the logo promoting ecology. Each national team prepared logos regarding the subject. After presenting works by each national team, there was prepared a voting form to choose the most interesting poster. On the slide visible now, you can see the winning poster, which became a logo of our project. To complete the project activities, teachers coordinating the project chose an innovative pedagogical method called WebQuest. To complete the project tasks defined in the WebQuest, students from all countries worked in the national as well as mixed international teams. To set the multinational teams and divide the tasks, students from all countries used different channels of communication, like forum available in the project TwinSpace, the project journal, as well as external tools like social media websites and Google Drive documents, through which they exchanged information and shared the results of their work. To interact as much as possible, students collaborated in international groups created in the project forum to complete tasks, although they were free to choose how. Partner schools also joined an international action called Earth Day to celebrate the campaign. Students used different materials available in the project TwinSpace, mainly created in ecological WebQuest page, and organized for younger students, those of 7-10 years old, a competition in a form of quizzes and crosswords on environmental issues. In this way, they promoted the knowledge they gained while taking part in the project among their school peers. Polish and Italian students also took part in an international campaign called No More Plastic Info. Joining the campaign was a good opportunity for students to follow the activities that other schools around the world undertake to reduce plastic waste. Both schools published the results of their work obtained thanks to joining the campaign on the campaign website, as well as in the project TwinSpace. Both schools received certificates for the contribution they made to the campaign. To set the multinational teams and divide the tasks, students from all countries used different channels of communication, like forum available in the project TwinSpace, the project journal, as well as tools like social media websites and Google Drive documents, through which they exchange information and share the results of their work. Taking part in the project brought both students and teachers a lot of benefits. Students managed to develop their ICT skills as well as language skills. There were also created some durable teaching materials like quizzes, games, posters, presentations that can be used in the teaching practice after closing the projects. We also managed to join the international campaign No More Plastic Info, as I mentioned before. As some 4 tips and advice for teachers who want to run their own successful eTwinning projects. In my opinion, it's worth to let students to take an active part in the whole project work process, starting from planning it, choosing the tools to exchange information, and ending at presenting the project results. In my opinion, the key to success is also frequent communication, as frequent communication strengthens collaboration. And it's also worth to be flexible and open to possible modifications of activities planned in the project. Sometimes it happens that the partners come up with the new ideas how to run the project activities. There are sometimes need some modifications and changes, and I think it's worth to be open to them. Thank you for your attention. Thank you one more time. It was a pleasure for me to be a speaker, and it was a pleasure that I could present my project. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aneta. We have a question here from the public asking if parents were involved and how. And I also have a question. There was an extensive use of ICT tools in the project, really excellent tools. You have used various activities with the kids, participation in campaigns, creation of artifacts, exploration online. So really great and inspiring things. And I would like to ask regarding the various activities that were related to ICT. So the second question is, did kids bring their own device or was it done in school? And what was the situation in other countries? And if there was a gap, how did you overcome this challenge?
Thank you for the questions. As for the first question, we managed to involve parents into the project. One of the project activity that was carried out by the method WebQuest was preparing interviews with teachers, with parents, on the theme what actions they undertake in their everyday life to reduce plastic waste. And the students from schools that were involved in the project also involved their parents, and they made some interviews with them on the team, as I mentioned, what kind of activities they undertake to reduce plastic waste. And these interviews were published on YouTube. And they were also published in the project TwinSpace. As for the second question concerning ICT tools, in my school, students didn't have to bring their own tools to school. My school is well equipped with digital tools. With computers, so we didn't have to use our own devices. We also continued this project, so maybe students also continued working on this project from their homes, and then they work on their own computers. It was the same in my school as well as at schools in the project partners schools.
Excellent, thank you so much. It's indeed a very inspiring project, and it seems there was a lot of work put into it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And without further hesitation, so many interesting activities, and I'm sure you're already inspired, but we would like to pass from primary school to secondary school, and let's explore the topic with Loredana that will present us the project, the World Explorers Club. Loredana.
Hi everyone, I'm Loredana. I'm an English teacher and eTwinning ambassador at school number 17, Dejaune, Romania. And today I'm going to talk about the project, the World Explorers Club, which took place, as you can see, between 2018 and 2019. and I was lucky to be a partner. And you can access the TwinSpace by just scanning the QR code on this slide. But then again, you can easily find it later on. So the Big Explorers, the team that was behind this project, as you can see, the founders that came up with this brilliant idea of gamifying everything and turning the activities that we were going to do into missions. Obviously, what we had in mind were a couple of objectives, such as increasing student awareness about environmental issues, increasing their motivation when it comes to school, helping them learn more about the difficulties people encounter when emigrating and when they have to start a new life. Also, obviously, improving cooperation, communication, ICT skills, language skills. The idea was, in the probably not so far future, we are going to run out of a place where we can live. So we have to find another one, which means a group of scientists was put together to try and find an alternative place for us to live. And the little explorers, though they were secondary students, school students, had to work in international groups. What they had to do first is come up with a name, with the name of a scientist that will represent their team. They could vote, they could make proposals, and then everything was decided. And these were some of the groups that came together. We had a lot more groups, and you can see that if you visit the TwinSpace. Now, how are we going to know these scientists? Each team had their own meeting words room, and also they could use the forum, and they had to answer to the same questions about the scientist that was going to represent them. I just chose a couple of examples, and you can see that they had to show us more about their scientific work, the discoveries. Keep in mind, these were, in my case, 5th grade students, for example. So they had to learn a bit more about Marie Curie, for example, or Stephen Hawking, and try to understand it according to their age. But they also had to find some new information in terms of something that you would not learn in school. For example, did you know that Newton had a dog? Or, for example, well, you can find some other examples. I can just give you a name. For example, Pasteur. Do you know anything about him that is not in the books? Now, one of the activities that we chose was creating a collaborative and interactive school presentation on VoiceThread. Basically, you have 50 slides that you can divide between the partner schools, and each school would upload a number of slides, and each slide would be accompanied by a video, by an audio message from one of the students, and it would end up with a question. For example, this is our hallway. What do you have in your hallway at school? And each school in turn would answer with, we have, I don't know, a vending machine. We don't have any vending machines. Our hallways are very small, and so on and so forth. So this was a great opportunity for students to get to know the other schools. They could even vote to which school they would like to move. Now, as I was saying, everything was mission-based. The first thing, when you have to go and find a new place, is find a means of transportation. They had a plane, but for that, they needed the keys. So it was a bit of competition. They had to solve a riddle and to be really fast in typing and get the keys for the plane. And the winning team was the Nikola Tesla group. They probably had some help from Nikola Tesla himself, but I don't think I was supposed to tell you that. Now, you have your plane, you've got all your scientists aboard, time to head for the island, except you don't know where the island is. What we figured, what the idea was, students are going to need a couple of things in life. They will need Morse code, and they will need Google Earth, because this comes in handy nowadays. We no longer have those old-fashioned maps, and they will need an ability to solve puzzles. So this is what they did. And if you want to find the island, you can scan the QR code. I can tell you that it's one of the very few islands left where mankind has not set foot yet. Now, you found the island and you're slowly descending. And what's the first thing you have to do? well, you have to survey the place, right? So you have a bird's eye view, and you have to get to know where the rivers are, where your resources are, what problems you might run into. So each group had to survey a part of the island. And of course, if you're doing the survey and you're the first one there, you get to name a couple of things. And the entire map of the island was put together by combining drawings made by the groups. Obviously, you land on the island, all these wonderful groups of scientists, but you don't know if you're alone. You suddenly find a message that's again in the QR code, or if you know sign language, another thing that's useful in life, you can decipher it, and you decipher the message and you realize it's a friendly one. So now what you have to do is, well, come up with your own language. And that's what they did. They came up with their own alphabet, and they wrote messages to the other groups, and they deciphered the messages they got. Obviously, some of the messages were really colorful. Some had just symbols. Others had were a bit, drier when it came to drawing. You can see in the middle, there's an example from one of my teams. They didn't like drawing, and they didn't like coloring too much. So they just did it like that. But it was a constant flow of messages between the students, and that was a great thing for us to see. Now, you've lived on this island for a couple of days, maybe a bit more. You've made friends, you've met the other tribes, let's say. You're a bunch of scientists, obviously. So what are you going to do next? Obviously, you've settled in a new place. So you have to leave a legacy. And obviously, the legacy is going to be a diary. You can see some entries from students from different perspectives, from different groups. It's their day on the island, what happens, how they feel, what they do. Obviously, you can move that into the Minecraft world as an idea, because they love playing that, and they can incorporate it into their journals. Now, some of the strengths that this project had were excellent planning. The founders came up with this brilliant idea to turn everything into a game and to release every mission only after the previous one was solved. So students could not get a peek at what was going on, and this kept them really engaged and interested. Obviously, bringing the scientists to class, as you can see, Mr. Darwin is in class right now, he's in session, and it was really fun and really interesting for students to learn so much about scientists and to compete against each other in Kahoot games, in a Kahoot game made up of questions from all the teams regarding the scientists that represented them. As you can see, there were a lot of messages on the forum. Each group had their own forum page, and they were really active there because they loved communicating with each other. Another thing that I absolutely loved was the fact that it was transcurricular. As I said, I teach English, but I'm passionate about STEM, and this was an excellent way for me to engage my students both in the English class and in the transcurricular eTwinning class that I was teaching at the moment. We used a lot of tools. For example, for me, it was the first time hearing about Flippity and the first time using meeting words, which I've used ever since. There was a constant communication between us. We had a WhatsApp group that we kept very active. But again, as any project, we had some challenges, particularly me. At that time, there was no internet connection in school, so it was really challenging to do any of the tasks because we don't have computers in class, we don't have interactive whiteboards or projectors, so it was my laptop, my hotspot, and a couple of the phones from the students. And we couldn't ask them to do the tasks at home because many did not have a computer, which meant I did not manage to finish some of the one of the tasks in time. I did finish it, but it was a bit too late. So this taught me something, that I should start an eTwinning club, which is now running online. So it gives us more time to finish what we don't manage to finish in class. And something that I did and I have not done after that is picking teams from 5 different classes I always ask my students, what project do you want to take part in? And I had teams from 5 different classes, which made it really hard to manage. So as advice, always have a plan B and a plan C, obviously, in case plan B fails. For example, I had a plan B, but then my phone broke down and I had no longer access to the WhatsApp group. So I did not have a plan C. Keep constant communication. Like Aneta said, involve the student and ask for their opinion, because they will come up with brilliant ideas, and collaborate in all the tasks that you do. Say when you have a problem and rely on each other's strengths. So this was what I had to do, and I'm really happy that I got to be a spokesperson for this project, and I'm really thrilled that I was a partner in it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Loredana. What an inspiring project. It's really, we feel we're a part of the Explorers Club. And actually, it really, I think, motivates teachers to go and to try interdisciplinary approach, try to collaborate with other teachers in the school, and try maybe to embed coding, embed different activities that we might not feel very comfortable with in our teaching. And we have a question, Loredana, from one of our attendees. So did the students enjoy this problem-based approach to learning?
Oh, they love it. We've been doing treasure hunts, transcurricular ones based on QR codes and Morse code for ever since then. So they're big fans of that. And they've learned to try and create their own sort of transcurricular games. So yes, absolutely.
Lovely. Thank you so much. So without further hesitation, I would like to pass the microphone to Murièle. Murièle is a teacher in the vet school, and by the way, I really love escape rooms. And if you don't know what is escape room or an escape space, Murièle can share her information with you, because the project conducted in her school was all focusing on an escape room. So Murièle, the microphone is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Alexandra, to invite me. So I'm going to present to you my project, which is escape games. So I'm Murièle Dejaune, and I teach English and French in the vocational school. It's close to Paris, and I did this project with my 2 colleagues in electricity, Sami and Mehdi. And we worked with a class composed of 24 students who were between 14 and 17 years old. And those students had no passion in electricity and no passion in English or even for school. We started the project with 2 partners, one partner from Spain and one partner from Poland. But very soon the colleague from Poland didn't give any news and quit the project. So we carry on only with the partners with Spain, but fortunately it went well. This project lasted for 1 year. We had 1 year per week to work in English, and we work in electricity as well, but only punctually with 2 electrician teachers. We must as well remember that our students, they are on week periods for 8 weeks, and they are away from school, so the year is quite short. The aim of this project was to improve our students' skills and improve them differently, and we wanted them as well to learn to work in teams. And the final aim of the project was to create an escape game in electricity and to play on site in our school as well.
Murièle, if you scroll down your presentation, you will be able to see the various activities and goals. Thank you.
Okay. But I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so the first activity was a ice-breaking activity. So we decided to make our students introduce themselves under the form of if I were. We chose 4 sentences. If I were an animal, I would be no. If I were a tool or a job or an object. So our students had to put on a Padlet their 4 sentences and to stay anonymous. And then they had as well to do another post with photos which illustrated their sentences. But this time they put their name on the post. And to give an interaction of his presentation, our students had to read the text and to find the illustration. So they have to guess who wrote what. And of course, the students have to confirm or infirm the guesses. Our next activity was the creation of a logo. It was done with an art teacher, and each student created their logo and they uploaded it on a three-sider, and then the students had to vote in giving their arguments. And you can see on the right the winning logo. In order to force them to communicate it, and we decided to make them work in international team. So we created 5 teams, sorry. And because the electrician teachers have decided about themes that are going to be worked on. So those 5 teams were quite special in electricity. It was about wind turbines, the first one. The second theme was production of electricity. The next one was means of transport, and then electricity consumption in houses. And the most difficult one was the European rules of the energy performance of building directives. So all those themes were part of a curriculum in electricity. So the students made researches during their lessons, and when they come in English, they had the knowledge of the electricity, so they could work on English, looking for words, vocabulary, and making sentences. Our students, they chose their teams according to their preference. Each team had a forum to work and where they discuss and exchange with their Spanish partners. And what we expect them to do is to create riddles and games. And for that, we gave them different web tools which allowed to make games and riddles. And mostly they prefer learning apps because it was easy to use and there was a variety of games. Once the games were created, they were tested by the other teams, and in cases corrections were necessary, they were done, of course. When they created a lot of games, they created about 20 games each, so they selected the best one, and the best one were kept, the best games were kept to be compiled on an escape game board. Each team, we opened for each team 5 escape game boards, and we use for that the tools deck toy. So the students invented the way and the different riddles and to create the escape game. Of course, these boards were tested by the different teams. And in May, in my school, we organized the European Day, where all the students participate to the different activities. And one activity, of course, was our escape game. Students from different classes tried to play and solve escape games. Once they finished all the games, at the end, they got a code, and this code allowed them to be able to open the locker and free from the room. This project was evaluated by the students, and we had only positive comments. Some students work in English on different themes and their level. Sorry, they work in English on different themes for their level of English. but they never complained, and they always managed to mix their knowledge learned in electricity and fulfill their task in English. I would, as advice I would like to give is that it's necessary to plan very well the project with your partners before, and to have deadlines. And it's very important to respect deadlines. And my students who were not keen on electricity or even in school, most of the students who were in this class continue their study, and they were enrolled in another training, and now I've got them again at school, and they ask for eTwinning project as well, to do more eTwinning projects. So I think with our colleagues, we managed to motivate our students who were not at all motivated at the beginning when they joined the school. I will be pleased to answer any questions if you have. And Alexandra, I give you the floor. But for then, I thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Murièle. Very inspiring project, lovely activities, and very diverse. I would like to ask a question about the engagement in the Europe Day. So you mentioned that pupils in the school from other classes were engaged as well in the Europe Day. Could you maybe tell us a bit more about that, and also to explain how did it affect the retention, or how did it affect the engagement of other teachers in eTwinning, and maybe about the enthusiasm of other pupils which were not in your class regarding eTwinning?
Now it's a tradition in my school for quite a long time to organize a European Day. And it's the day where the students who are doing any projects, such as eTwinning projects or Erasmus projects, they present what they do. And it's a way for us to motivate the other students who are a bit shy, maybe, to involve and to take part in those projects. Generally, all the teachers in my school participate to this European Day as well, and most of them, some of them are quite interested with the eTwinning projects, and it's a way to make them part of our big European challenge that we have in our school.
Thank you, Murièle. And we have two more questions. One from Stefania, who is asking how can we have, if there is a website with the games in order to explore with her students. And Adil is also asking, what was the final outcome of the project? Was it the games? Was it the European Day? What was the final outcome?
Okay, so yes, everything is public. If you go on the TwinSpace, on my presentation at the beginning, you have a link for the TwinSpace, and all the work of the students are there. And the final aim and the final projects, it was, at the beginning, we wanted to do only the escape game online, but as it works so well, we decided to do it on live at school, and to motivate all the students. And even so, this project was done 2 years ago, and it was such success that we did it. We wanted to do it last year, but because of the lockdown, we couldn't do it. And I hope that this year we're going to play and do it again.
Thank you so much, Murièle. Thank you to all the teachers.
Thank you to you.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. A big thank you to Murièle, to Loredana, to Despoina, and to Aneta for accepting to share their experiences here in this session today with you. I have been following chat, and I saw that there were many interesting comments, and that these projects raised a lot of interest. I just would like to remind you that first and foremost, you can find all of these projects and many more in the eTwinning book 2020 that as of yesterday is available on the eTwinning net on our portal. And I really hope that you will find ideas and potential partners for your new projects and new collaboration activities within eTwinning. I would like to remind you that we still have, well, 1 month and a couple of well, nearly 2 full months to go until the end of this current year. So our annual theme remains the climate change and environmental challenges. And I really hope that you, through all of the ideas that the teachers today have shared, that you have found a bit source of an inspiration, and that you will as well find some time to bring sustainability to your classrooms and to your students. The last but not least, I would like now to invite and pass the floor to Dr. Markus Rester from the European Commission to leave us with a couple of food for thought and with some thoughts and observation on this eTwinning annual conference in this new digital format. Thank you very much. Markus, floor to you.
Hello, hi. First of all, you know, next year's topic, next year's annual theme will be media literacy and disinformation. What can you spot is the fake news. There's no sunshine, there's no blue sky in Brussels. But otherwise we are doing well. We live in difficult times. You heard that many times in the conference. You hear it all every day in the news. You and your students, you face school closures. You had school closures, you currently have, or you soon maybe face them again. It's not easy. We all know that, but there's at least eTwinning. That's something that helps, that supports, that gives hope and continuity. Many of you know that at each eTwinning conference there's a dedicated session with Ministry of Education representatives. We had that yesterday, a whole afternoon, and there were 2 points I would like to pass to you because I was very happy to hear them in a workshop with Ministry of Education representatives. One colleague mentioned eTwinning works out of the box. Crisis came, lockdown came, school closures came. eTwinning was there. It worked out of the box. You know it. You could just use it. And the second one was also very impressive. Another colleague said, "Yeah, we have a central platform which is not eTwinning, but eTwinning is a community of highly skilled experts in online learning, distance learning, blended learning, and not only does the eTwinning community, you support each other, the eTwinning community also supported other teachers not being on eTwinning and supported them with the onboarding to maybe a different platform. So there's this helping each other, but also helping everybody else that needs help. That's something very impressive that I took away from this Ministry of Education workshop. Some numbers. You see the slides? Oh no, you will soon see a slide. Now you see it. So we went online. We went fully online. In the beginning, there was some doubts. Will it work? Is this never done this before? Can it replace the real thing? And really, without hesitation, we in the Platfoms team in the European Commission said, you are the experts in online collaboration. You were at the forefront when the first lockdowns took place. I mean, if not you, then nobody else manages to go fully online with a conference. And I think we were proven right that this really works thanks to you. So just a few statistics. The prize ceremony, we had about 600 concurrent users. The open plenary, the keynote, about 500. Good thing is with the online format, we have a recording, and look at the numbers of the views of the recordings. So 4,700 plus, and we are counting going upwards. Clicked on the video, on the recording. Same for the plenary, 3,400 views. I'm sure there will be many more. This comes, of course, with a price tag. So there's a lot of organization behind that. And it's impressive to see for the whole conference with all the different workshops and so on, more than 100 team meeting rooms have been created. Like the ceremony itself had about 15 rooms, so going back and forth from the studio to the different runner-ups to the winners and back and to the studio. This was a really amazing job done by the colleagues. It was really like a professional television show, the prize ceremony. But there's a lot of organization behind, and the social media is I think working out very well. We have around 1,000 posts mentioning the hashtag, and the current estimated number of reach, like how many people read a post that contained a hashtag eTwinning Conference 20, is estimated at 1 million. I mean, if this is true, I don't trust computers in general, but I have a feeling that this could be true, and if that is the case, then it's really impressive. So much for the numbers. There's one big block that has to come at the end of every conference, the section called thank you. You can turn off the slide, please. Thank you. First of all, on the first day, we had the Commissioner Gabriel. Maria Gabriel, you heard about important ongoing work like the Digital Education Action Plan, but you heard one thing that was very well received in the chat by you. You heard about her support of eTwinning. Sure. She knows the platform, she knows the community, and she says she's fully behind that. That's very reassuring. Then we had Clara de la Torre, Deputy Director General of DG Klima. You heard a very inspiring presentation on the Climate Pact, and you could feel how committed she is to fight this climate crisis. Really, really reassuring. And then we had Kun Timas. I mean, there's not much I need to say about him, because it's for a reason that he was finalist for the Global Teacher Award 2 years in a row. I mean, he is pure inspiration. It was a very, very good keynote address. I mentioned already the workshop for the Ministry of Education representatives, where I can tell you that we had a really nice keynote by the Deputy Minister of Education from Greece, Sofia Sakaraki. I mean, she was a former eTwinner, and she showed all the other ministry representatives and told how you can embed eTwinning on national level, how you can support the community on national policy level. Really good input for the workshop. So many great testimonies, so many great project presentations you did. I just mentioned Laura and Ronan in the ministry workshop. Very inspiring. Also in this closing session, very inspiring stories about your project. Very, very gives me really a good feeling. This is something exceptional. Small block of colleagues in the executive agency, Florence, Susanna, and many more behind who are managing the contract. With the commission, many of you know Cécile, doing a great job being the driving force behind eTwinning on the commission side. And there's the CSS. I mentioned already how much work went into organizing this. So there's Santi, there's Ruth, Irene, Antonia, Alexandra, Marta, Assi, Jessica, Christos, and Bart, who does the programming. And for sure, I forgot to mention a few. Really, this goes out to you. Big thank you. Great work. And there's only one stakeholder group left that I need to thank, and that is you. You are the eTwinners. You are the ambassadors. You are the community. It's your community. It's your platform. And this was again your conference. Hopefully next year we see each other in person, or maybe in a blended format. Who knows? I was in a workshop where we used many digital tools. It was so much fun. I'm sure your workshops were running as well. It was really a great experience. And in this workshop, we learned and chatted about how important it is to do a check-in when you do an online meeting. Even more important when it's online and not face-to-face. And now we're approaching the very end of this conference, and I would like to invite you to a checkout. Like last year, I invite all of us, please grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, or since we are online, just fire up any text editor. And when the stream then ends, take 2 more minutes of your time. I know it's Saturday, we are all sacrificing part of our weekend. Take 2 more minutes. Think about 2 things. What was the most exciting, the most surprising, the most touching experience you had in this conference? What moved you? And second question, and maybe you note it down, what will you do on Monday, on Tuesday, next week, the week after, to support the eTwinning community? What plan do you have that you contribute to the community and make eTwinning even greater than it already is? Final word, thanks to you all. Great conference, great community. Stream will end now. Reflect and see you next year. Bye.